Hey, good afternoon. This is Kirk McDowell with the Challenge Call, and I'm here to talk about a workshop I'm going to be doing this Sunday, the 5th, at the Guan Yin Tea House right off of 35, Central Austin, 11 o'clock. So my talk is the secret to love and happiness, really. So I did a live talk a couple days ago, and we talked about games for romance. So today I'm actually going to talk about love and happiness. So I'm going to kind of give you the keys to the kingdom, and I think that'll be fun for you. So happiness. Let's talk about happiness for a minute. So a lot of people confuse happiness with pleasure. So pleasure is something that you can do that's fun. It feels good, going out for dinner, buying a brand new car, having a nice car, beautiful clothes, an evening, whatever. So something that you do can bring you happiness, right? Pleasure. We're talking about pleasure. So I'm separating happiness from pleasure. Happiness comes from within. Pleasure comes from without, right? Pleasure, you put a soothing ointment on your skin, for example, that's pleasurable, right? Now, people often confuse happiness with pleasure in the following way. If I had the right house, if I had the right house, the right husband, the right wife, the right family, if I lived in the right neighborhood, if I had the right job, the right career, if I had the right clothes, then I'd be happy. But it's actually not true. You may notice that there have been times when you've had something really extraordinary. You've maybe had a nice house, a nice car, nice clothes, and you weren't happy. Or maybe you did something extraordinary. A lot of people think if they do something, they'll be happy. If they take that 3-week vacation to Paris, then I'll be happy. Well, no. Do you know that there are some people who have taken 3-week vacations to Paris and are still not happy? Do you know there are people who own very expensive cars and houses and clothes and they're not happy? Now, some of them are, some of them aren't, right? There's nothing wrong with any of that stuff. It's just not a direct correlate to happy. So happy comes from within. And so happiness comes from how you are being. Notice if you're with someone and you're being generous, or you're being loving, or you're being gracious, or you're being patient, or you're being compassionate. If you'll notice, in those moments, you're actually happy. You have the experience of happiness, contentment, satisfaction, pride, accomplishment, the experience of having contributed, right? You drive your $100,000 car downtown to an expensive restaurant and yada, yada, yada. You come back to your beautiful house. You might be happy. You might not be happy. There may be a lot of pleasure involved, right? Not necessarily, though, probably. But that's as far as it goes. Now, the reason people are confused is because the marketing industry, I did some research. I think this is about right, okay? The marketing industry in the U.S., the marketing budget in the U.S. is approximately $200 billion. $200 billion a year, right? This is like last year. No, that's projected for this year, for 2017, right? $200 billion. Why is so much money being spent to have you be confused with happiness and pleasure? Well, let me tell you why. Companies can sell you stuff to bring you pleasure. And if you think it's going to make you happy, then they're golden, right? So the negative effect of this, in addition to you probably buying stuff you don't need to, is you're not actually getting what you set out for, the happiness. Okay? So the secret to happiness, in a sense, is generating happiness. Now, I know that self-referential is not very satisfying. So let's say it another way. The secret to happiness is in who you are being. If you want to be happy, go be gracious with someone. Be forgiving. Be generous. Be compassionate. Listen to what's important to somebody that you care about. And I promise you that'll bring you happiness. Okay? So that's happiness. Okay? This is going great, isn't it? All right. Let's talk about love. We knocked out happiness. We've already knocked out romance. Let's just take care of love and we'll get it all wrapped up. So I was just going to do one today and do another one tomorrow, but heck, I'm rolling. I'm in a good mood. So A very close friend of mine was writing a book a few years ago, and he was taking a stab at distinguishing love. A lot of people, I'm sure, a lot of very brilliant, amazing people have taken a stab at that. But he created something that really inspired him and shared it with me, and I've been using it ever since. I do have his permission, so just so you know. So here's love. All right, love is the granting of space, and love is the granting of being. So love is the granting of space and the granting of being. Let me tell you what I mean by that, and let me tell you how I apply that. So what do I mean by that? The granting of space. Have you ever noticed people get themselves in crazy situations? Crazy situations. People get themselves in crazy situations. They say crazy things. They do say crazy things. They make terrible decisions from time to time. Not everybody all the time, but you know what I'm saying. Who I am in the matter is I grant people space. I meet them where they are. No judgment. Listen, I've done and said plenty of crazy things. It is not for me to judge anybody about anything, right? So I notice that doesn't stop most people, but hey, that's just me observing, you know. But loving in this conversation would be just being with people where they're at. Somebody just lost their job. Someone's dealing with grief. Someone's, whatever. They just made a terrible decision and are upset about it. Whatever. I meet people where they're at. You could consider being loving. One aspect of being loving is granting people space. The other is granting people being. Do you know that people be all kind of ways? Sometimes people be angry and they are being joyous or being angry or impatient or whatever, inquisitive or distracted or anything, right? So one way of being loving is just let people be how they're being, It's not really, you could take the case that where anyone's at and how anyone's being is 100% their own business and not yours. And you could take the case that what there is for you to go to work on is who you're being and where you're at. And just leave it there, period, no further comment, just as a possibility, right? You could take on, so anyway. All right, so let me summarize. I don't want to make this really long. I want to give you the value and let you get back on with your day. So love and happiness. So I'm saying love is the granting of space and the granting of being. I do want to say a little bit more about that. One of the things I particularly love about distinguishing love in that way is that it makes it a verb. I can actually put my attention on something and actually do something and create the experience of love for another and for myself. It's really extraordinary. It's really easy. There's no mystery. Man, I've spent most of my life just so unsure, unclear, and about love and being loving and all that kind of stuff, right? So this is just really beautiful for me. And then being happy. Happiness is generated by me. Upset is generated by me. When someone offends me, they're fine. I'm the one who's upset, right? So I'm either gonna be responsible for my state of mind, who I'm being, what my experience is, or I'm not, right? I'm going to be a victim of the world, or I'm going to be responsible. Another way you could say it is being cause in the matter. Cause in the matter of my way of being, my way of speaking, my way of operating, my body language, my tonality, everything. Why not? Right? So, and then romance, I'll just throw it in. I'm in a great mood. I'll just recap romance here for you, okay? So consider that. This is going to sound crazy at first, right? Pretty much everything I do sounds crazy right at first. Just hang in there. Consider romance as a game. And consider it's a game where something is better than something else, right? So the way I play the game is I say there's three things that women want. Women want to be cherished. I'll slow down a little bit. Women want to be cherished. They want to be safe, and they want to have fun. So if you're a woman, just look and see if that's so. And then if you're a man, just consider the possibility of your woman feeling cherished, safe, and having fun. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for you. It's great for her, but it's good for you too. All right. And then what men want one thing. And what men want is to be supported in their endeavors. Men want to be supported in their endeavors. Now, women, don't be helpful. Don't make suggestions. Don't tell them how to do stuff. Don't give them advice. Men hate that. You should know that already. But you can be supportive. You can be interested. You could ask questions. You could, just be with your man in his endeavors, career, family, whatever. Men have all sorts of endeavors, right? Artistic, whatever. The beautiful thing about this game is the game now becomes the man's endeavor. Do you get that? The man and the woman play the game together. There's 3 things that women want: cherish, safe, and fun. There's 1 thing that men want: to be supported in their endeavors, right? So this whole thing could be the man's game. And women, you could support your man in winning his game when you're not feeling cherished, safe, or fun. Gentlemen, how to play that game is periodically, once a week, every few days, you go up to your woman and go, hey, are you feeling cherished? Do you feel safe? Are you having fun? If you get a no, deal with it graciously, deal with it responsibly. Don't freak out. Just get what's going on and correct it. Put in the appropriate measure. Women, you can ask your man, hey, do you feel supported by me in your endeavors? Now, for both parties being asked the question, it's really critical that you tell the truth. Otherwise, you're going to train your partner in some craziness, right? So if you're not feeling supported, let her know. If you're not feeling cherished, let him know. You're literally, parties are wanting to be trained and parties are being trained. All right, just get over that. It's not weird, it's beautiful. At the end of which, you can have like romance and love and happiness in your relationship. Oh my gosh. I've got a bunch of more stuff. I've got 45 minutes. You see what I could do in however many minutes this is, 10 minutes or so. So Sunday the 5th, Guanyin Tea House, 35. I'm going to put some swipe copy here. I'm going to put some information here at the below or above the video, however it works out. So I have all the details. I would love to see you at Sunday on the 5th. And then additionally, I have a company called The Challenge Call, and I offer something called The Challenge Call. And my website for this little thing I'm talking about is dragonslayercoach.com, dragonslayercoach.com, all one word. And on there is a quick 1-minute video and an opportunity for you to get on my calendar. And what you get for getting on my calendar is a 30-minute challenge call with me where I promise you will have a new future or be unstuck in an area of life that's important to you. Doesn't matter what it is. It's free. There's no business or salesy conversation. It literally is my opportunity to contribute to you. All right. Thank you so much. I hope to see you Sunday. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Bye-bye.